Hi, adiash73 here with one in the first of a new series that I'm trying, which is my interviews with the gamers out there. And the first one I'm going to interview is a guy called Confused Shelf. The reason we're doing this is because he's hitting the milestone of 300 blogs on trueachievements.com, which is a huge milestone. So we both thought we needed to do something special to celebrate that, and this is what we're doing. So if at any time during this is the first time we've tried it, it's all a bit experimental. If Confused Shelf can't hear me and he says, oh, you've got to repeat the question, do apologise for that up front, but it's all quite new. We've got a couple of things running at the same time to try and get everything captured, and we'll see how it goes. So would you like to say hello, Mr. Confused Shelf?
Hello everyone out there in the wide world, whether it be True Achievements, YouTube, anything.
Okay, that's cool. So, got a series of questions. We're going to start off with some general questions. First thing I'd like to ask you is, what's your real name?
My real name is Lucas. What's yours, Adiash, so I can refer to you by your name during this interview?
My name is Ash. It's that complicated.
Oh really? I wouldn't have guessed.
Yep, so please feel free to call me Ash, and that goes for anyone else out there in the world of YouTube or TA. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 19 right now.
That does make me feel quite old now. But where do you, I'm going to move on quickly before I start crying. Where do you live?
I live in West Hill in sunny Scotland.
Sunny Scotland. I don't really believe that.
Is there any... right now, and I just see the sun shining. It's a beautiful night. Not a single star in the sky. Lovely.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything special about where you live?
Yeah, West Hill is the international engineering capital of, or centre of excellence of Europe. How exciting is that?
That's pretty fancy. That's pretty fancy. Obviously, you have a family. Do you have brothers, sisters?
I've got two brothers and a sister. Both my brothers play a lot of gaming. So my younger brother's a PlayStation 3 person. My older brother plays Xbox though.
Would you want to give his gamertag a shout out?
He's Xenosmoke.
There we go. And do you have any pets?
I do. I've got 3 cats, 1 dog, and a whole bunch of chickens.
That's quite a lot. You've got a farm up there or something?
No, not quite.
And you look pretty young to me, 19. Do you work at all?
I do. I'm a waiter in a local pub.
Okay, good tips? Get good tips?
I do. I make fantastic tips though.
That's good. It's all in the tips. And are you studying at the moment?
I'm studying software development at the moment. I'm in my 2nd year there, hoping to become a computer games developer in the future.
Very nice. I'm sure a lot of us listening to this can resonate to that and think, yeah, I wish I'd done that. Or if you're younger, maybe that's what you want to do. So I'm guessing you're a gamer. You're studying computer software design. The two linked together, is that what drew you into it, being a gamer?
Yeah, I guess so. I wasn't always interested in being a gamer. A lot of my school life I thought about being an archaeologist. Time Team had kind of drawn me to that idea, but then towards the end I decided it wasn't for me anymore, and I kind of looked at what else I could do, and making computer games sounded like a dream job to me.
Yeah, it does to me too, but too late for me. And outside of gaming, do you play any sports at all?
I don't. I'm sorry to let you down there, Ash. I don't play any sports. I used to do a bit of Tai Chi. I know you're interested in your Tai Chi, but...
Yeah, well, Tai Chi, you've got a lifetime to take it up. In the East, they don't take it up till they're really old. Even older than me, so you've got plenty of time to go on that one. But yeah, I do like my Tai Chi. What other hobbies do you have outside of gaming, or do you just not have the time?
No, well, I've got a strong interest in Formula One, obviously. I also big film fan, film connoisseur, I'd describe myself as, and I've got an obscene interest in soundtracks, whether it be for films or games.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something else that we said obscene, but thankfully we kept it clean.
We did. We'll try and keep that going for the rest of this interview as well.
We'll try hard. I can't guarantee for myself, but just look after your end and you're fine.
But we don't know what the soundtrack was for yet, do we? We'll get.
Now, one thing I'd like to know, and I'd like the people out there in YouTube world to know, is I want you to tell us something interesting about yourself that you think we should know.
Well, in my high school yearbook, I was voted the funniest drunk of the year.
Funniest drunk. Okay. In your high school yearbook. How old were you at this time?
Oh, of a legal drinking age. I'm gonna
good answer. Yes.
Say.
Yes, good answer on that one. All right, so that's those general questions out the way. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to ask you some gaming-specific questions. Just for those people that are wondering why I'm looking over there, it's because the TV's over there and it's tricky for me to look over there and over there. So if I'm looking over there, it's because I'm looking at Lucas's reply. If I'm looking over there, I'm looking at the Kinect. Anyway, with that out of the way, first gaming question is, what was your first games console or gaming device?
My first console I played was the original PlayStation. First console I owned that was mine was the PlayStation 2.
Okay, yeah, very good. I had a PS1 the day it was released. Special place in my heart. When you got your games, what was the first game you ever owned?
The first game I ever owned was Gran Turismo 2. Picked it up at a car boot sale for £1 and it hooked me on games. I'd played a lot of games before then. Total Driving, I'm not sure if you ever played that. It was an old PlayStation 1 game. But that was the first game I ever played, I think. But it was really Gran Turismo 2 was my first game.
Yeah, great game. I mean, you can't go far wrong with the old Gran Turismos there. I remember that game myself and yeah, very good game. Very good game. Thinking back about that, are there any other specific memories that brings up, you know, any fond recollections or...
No, well, there was a car in the game. When you first started, you had to look through all the used dealerships to find a good car, and the best car to start the game was a dark green metallic Toyota Supra. And I always told myself as I kind of grew up and moved on to new games that one day I would own that car, and it probably only cost you 100 quid because it's so old now, but I'm hoping at one point in my life I will own this dark green Toyota Supra.
You never know.
Yeah, well, still plenty of time.
There is. I mean, have you got a driving licence yet?
I do, yeah, I've got a driving licence. My car is just a Ford car at the moment, but I'm going to trade it in for a Jaguar XJ220.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good deal to me. I'm kind of surprised he's going ahead with it, but you know.
Hey, well, I don't even know what to say about that, apart from the insurance is going to be pretty high. PS1, it's alright to laugh, that's perfectly good, I like it when people laugh. PS1, PS2, was it then just a straight jump to the 360 or anything else slip in there in terms of games consoles?
No, I did own the original Xbox, and most of my favourite games, in fact my favourite game belonged to the Xbox, the original one. But it was never mine, it was more of a family console, so you know, I only played it from time to time, but then it was just straight onto the 360. I never went to the PlayStation 3.
Okay. And so out of all of those ones, which one holds a special place in your heart?
Yeah, well, of all the consoles I've played? Well, the 360, I suppose. It's the person I am right now. And although I've got fond memories of the old consoles, it's the 360 is most relevant right now.
Okay. And let's move on to your gamertag, Confused Shelf. What's the reason behind that? It's quite unusual.
Yeah, it's quite a strange gamer tag, that's for sure. When I first had my Xbox profile, it was just originally Lucas, but after a couple of years, finally got around to getting Xbox Live, and I needed a unique ID. I couldn't stand people with numbers at the end of it, or X's at the start and beginning, and all sorts of other things. So I wanted something totally unique. And I thought back, and back in the days when Bluetooth was all the rage, we used to spend the bus rides home calling our phones ridiculous things like Confused Shelf and Slippery Moose. And we would also like call our phones other people's names, so we'd get files sent to us that weren't meant for us. And I guess it was just a nostalgic throwback to that. I wish I could remember more what my thought process was, but that's all I can kind of reason.
That's fair enough. That's a good answer. I particularly like Slippery Moose. Sounds pretty good. I do like that one. And in terms of the games you play, what's your favourite genre?
Racing games are my favourite genre. I know it's not my most played genre, but it's definitely the one I get the most enjoyment from.
Okay, well, you're in good company there. Obviously, they're my favourite. And what genre do you try and avoid?
It would be two genres really. One being music games, and the other one being fighting games. I just don't like the fact that the music games are not really interested in that kind of experience, and the fighting games is just too steep a learning curve. I couldn't get in there every time I see someone playing it. They're always, they just thrash me and enjoy it.
So I'm guessing they're the type of genres that you want to avoid, really.
Hmm.
And what's been the best 3 games you've played in the last 12 months?
Well, I've just completed Halo 4 this week, or the story for it. That's ranked right up there. Really good game. Really enjoyed it. I'm a long-time Halo fan, so obviously. Mass Effect 3, I haven't got around to completing the last level of Mass Effect 3. I've got up to the Cerberus headquarters, so my opinion on it might change after this final mission, but right now I think it's a fantastic game, and I'm really interested to see what all the fuss is about regarding the ending. Other than that, I can't really think of any games that stand out to me that I've started playing in 2012, I'm afraid. Although I am looking forward to playing Forza Horizon. I really enjoyed the demo for that, and it's sitting upstairs just waiting for an opportunity to open it up. I'll keep it for a rainy day.
Yeah, I mean, I've not got that one yet, but that is high on my wish list. So, with the exception of Forza Horizon, which would be a big highlight for anyone, I guess, what other games are you looking forward to?
Well, I've also got Doom 3 upstairs. I love the original Dooms, although I was far too young to play them when they first came out. It'll be interesting to see. I don't often play horror games. I've never played a Dead Space or Resident Evil, never played any of those, so this is going to be quite a new experience for me. In the future, Far Cry 3, I don't think that one's out just yet. And then further away, you've got Grand Theft Auto 5, long-time fan of that as well. So that will be interesting to play. There's a couple that are out that if I had the time, I would go and buy them, but I simply don't. And they're Hitman Absolution. I enjoyed Blood Money. Didn't play any of the others, but that was a good one. And Black Ops 2. I think the original Black Ops was the best Call of Duty. So I'll be interested to see what they did with it. But still, I've got to go back and play Modern Warfare 3 first before I go on to that one.
Okay. And out of all the games that you've played, particularly on the 360, what's your proudest completion?
My proudest retail one would be Vanquish by Platinum Games, and proudest arcade completion would be N+.
Yeah, N+ is meant to be rock solid, very tough, one that I'd avoid. I've not played Vanquish, so I don't know too much about it. From all the games you've played, what's the hardest single achievement that you've actually managed to pop?
The hardest achievement by far and away is Tactical Challenger from Vanquish. It's the achievement for completing the 6 challenges that you get through completing the story load. And it's just something else entirely. Anyone who's attempted that achievement will tell you that the first 5 challenges, they're fairly easy. You can kind of make your way through them just like you can in the hard parts of the campaign. But the 6th challenge is just monstrous. I mean, it was soul destroying, and it was the last achievement I needed for the game. I knew if I didn't get it then, I was never going to go back and do it because of how difficult that achievement is to get, and also because Vanquish is quite a unique game in terms of the ones I've played. It takes you a while to kind of get back into the way it works and how fast-paced everything is. And I kind of kept track of how I was progressing with this single achievement on an Excel spreadsheet. And at first there's 5 rounds and I wasn't getting beyond like the first couple rounds in the first 50 attempts, and then eventually I kind of broke into the third round, and then after 100 goes I finally made it to the last round where I died in about 10 seconds. But by 150 goes, I was then consistently making it to the last few rounds, and I'd come such a long way since when I'd started. It was really rewarding to feel that kind of sense of progression. And then finally, I got the achievement, and it still sits in my top 10 ratio, which I'm proud of. You know, it's a good enough achievement to be up there, beating away many Connect achievements that have a bit of a boost.
Yeah, I mean, that's, well, the people will be able to see that down below. They are popping up your best achievements, your best games as part of the old bar at the bottom, so they will see that one down there. Sounds very good. Sounds all too good. There's always a downside though. What game do you regret starting?
That would be Guitar Hero Aerosmith. I don't know what possessed me to pick that game up. I just saw it in HMV and I was like, oh, that'll be interesting. It was possibly the worst Guitar Hero I could have bought for an introduction to that kind of music genre, but God, I did not enjoy playing that for 1 minute. So it still sits there as a dirty mark on my completion percentage.
Yeah, it's for me. It's up there in the shelf. Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero 2, and worst of the lot, Facebreaker as my worst ones. But we don't want to talk about that because then I'll just get too depressed and have to end the interview now. And I don't want to do that. I just want to keep going and keep looking over there. I'm distracted by the PC. I do apologise for that. Let's do some TA questions now. What things do you like about being on TA?
My favourite feature on True Achievements is the news feed on the front page. It's so good to be able to talk to any of my friends who play Xbox, and they can say, oh, have you heard about such and such? And I say, yeah, I heard about it a week ago, because being on True Achievements is like having a personal team of people constantly reporting all the news in the industry to you, and you're always up to date, and that is my favourite feature on True Achievements, just the news.
That's good. And just like with there being good games and there being bad games, there's good things about TA. What don't you like about TA?
Well, a pet peeve of mine on True Achievements is the site rank badge, where the #1 spot has the yellow badge, but everything below that has orange, and through the rest of the color scale, all the other badges kind of run by the logic of top 10% yellow, 20% orange, 30 red, and so on and so forth. But that one badge has yellow for 1, which I don't understand, because surely the #1 indicates that you are the #1 on the site. You don't need a color to tell you that, and the number is more straightforward than that to anyone who's new to the site, and that just drives me mad.
Yeah, I'm in favour of that because that would give me a nice yellow badge as well. I like it. I like my yellow badges.
Yeah, so do I.
True Achievements is all about TA score. What matters most, TA score or gamer score?
TA score. I think it's in the comparison between the two. The ratio and everything, I think, matters more to me than just a straight number of gamer score, because you can get gamer score through all sorts of things, and play 50 easy games and you already almost match my gamer score. But I think my ratio shows that I've worked away a lot harder achievements, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, it does. It's respectable. It's very good. It's well above the site average, and it's also higher than your friend's average, which is always a good benchmark.
Is it really?
Yeah, because I'm a nerd and I've been checking out your profile in great detail in order to build that.
I've got some friends with some pretty high ratios. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean the site average is quite low, but yeah, you're doing very well, very respectable.
All right, okay, well, that's good.
How do you feel about completion percentage?
I think that's very important. If it wasn't important to me, I would have started the games I own upstairs already. I always try and complete at least the story mode of a game before I move on to the next one. That's what I'm doing now. I want to finish up Halo 4, Borderlands, Mass Effect 3, Forza 4, and Blur before I open up any new games. So yeah, I'm always in a constant battle trying to improve my completion percentage. I don't mind when it goes down, but you know, I know eventually I'll get it back up to what it once was. Also, not having any unobtainables on my card, you know, I know I'll never get 100%, but if I really wanted to, I could get 100%, and that's worry about that. And whenever something comes up, like the recent test drive server closures, make sure I'll never get unobtainable.
Well, I mean, with that in mind, I'd just like to recommend to you some really good EA games.
Yeah, I've heard about some of these. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really good ones out there with plenty of unachievables, because everyone needs some unachievables on their card.
Yeah, I know. You've not got a fully rounded profile until you've got some unachievables, unobtainables on there.
Or an odd game to score. They're the prerequisites. Obviously, I am joking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can tell because my mouth is moving. Let's ask, getting to the final section now, moving into the close. Specific questions just about you. 300 blogs on TA. Now that is a real landmark. That's why we're doing this, to celebrate it. Out of all of those blogs, is there a highlight?
Yeah, there's a couple highlights. I'd say one of the highlights was my 75th blog, where I did this massive Halo kind of celebration. I'm not sure what triggered it. Maybe it was completing Halo Reach. It was such a long time ago. But I did like top 10 levels, top 10 songs from all the soundtracks, top 10 cutscenes, individual moments, and of course the worst levels as well, because every Halo needs an obligatory awful level that just everyone hates, whether it be the Elevator of Death from Halo 2 or the more recently Forerunner from Halo 4, which I think is just a pretty awful level.
Okay. Now, in terms of blogs, you follow 25 other people. What do you like in other people's blogs?
Originality. I like things that are different to what I see as most of blog posts on True Achievements. So there's people who post trivia blogs. Their names escape me. Quick, to True Achievements. Yeah, so people like 30 Smooth and Nighthawk. 30 Smooth's got this really cool game trivia blog, which I think is really interesting, especially games even I haven't played. That it's still good to read the trivia about and little nods and Easter eggs in the games. Nighthawk's also got just facts of the day, which they're short sentences that you can read. You know, there's plenty of people on Through Achievements that I follow who have daily blogs, and I can't possibly read all of them. I just don't have the time. I'll probably read about a quarter of them, which is enough to justify me following them in general. And I enjoy what I read, otherwise I wouldn't follow. But yeah, it's good to have just those short ones as well that you can go back to, and you always know you're going to find something interesting in there. And then there's many other people on Three Achievements. I'm not going to give a shout out to all of them, otherwise we'll be here saying a minute about all of them forever. But consider it that if I follow you on Three Achievements, I like what you're doing.
There you go. On True Achievements, when I was checking out your stats, I saw that you've done 7 walkthroughs and 42 solutions. How do you feel about that?
Well, solutions aren't really that important to me. There was a time where I thought I'd write up a lot of them and would keep going, but I kind of lost interest, and there was other solutions out there, and I wanted something that was just me. And so I started taking up walkthroughs. The first one I wrote was Doom walkthrough. Not sure why I picked that game, but it was a blast going through it again. You know, playing all the levels, finding all the secrets. I can remember spending hours in co-op mode trying to find every secret in every level. Looking back on it, I should have just looked up a guide on the internet. But YouTube didn't have any guides, and at that point in time, I don't know, I just didn't think about the rest of the internet, the other 900 or 99%, I should say. Not that YouTube is 1%. But yeah, it was so much fun, and I kind of got hooked on the idea, and all my walkthroughs are like horrendously long. But I like the way that the team gives you freedom to write whatever you want. They don't Sometimes some walkthroughs are more straight and to the point, whereas mine waffle on about things that aren't even covered by, aren't covered by achievements, and yet it's still relevant to some people, I suppose. And I like the fact that the walkthrough team kind of lets you do what you want to do with those walkthroughs to an extent.
That's good. That's cool. And obviously you've contributed that far already. Any plans for any more contributions to TA in the future?
Well, I'm working on the Mass Effect 3 walkthrough right now, which is taking me an age to do. I'm, like I said earlier in the interview, I've got up to the last level now. I'm playing through 3 characters all at once on Insanity, recording all the footage as I go, and editing the footage too. What I want to do is create a complete guide for all the dialogue in the game. It won't be written, but in my video, it's going to show a cutscene or some dialogue. An NPC will say something. There'll be the option box at the bottom. Then it will show the Paragon Shepherd option, and there'll be a little symbol up here, the little Paragon logo, like you get in your interrupts. And it will play out the Paragon response, and then what the NPC's response is to that. Then I'll go back and do the Renegade option, and then there will be a third option if FemShep's got any, FemShep specific conversation other than just he or she, because that's meaningless. So I want to get like the most complete dialogue coverage, at least in a Mass Effect 3 walkthrough. I'm so close to the end of doing that now. I've just got to upload about 100 hours of gameplay, and then it's just going back and doing the text part. Hopefully I'll get it finished sometime soon.
Well, that is a monster job. I don't envy you that task, but it sounds like it's going to be epic, and obviously will stand the test of time, like this interview.
Yeah, which will be looked back on in 5 years' time, and I'll cringe.
Yeah, you'll cringe. Yeah, I think we'll both cringe. I mean, at least I won't have any less hair. I did notice when I was checking. Oh, here we are, back focusing in. I did notice when I was stalking your profile that you haven't got any gamer goals set up. Is there any reason behind that?
The reason is because gaming's a hobby for me, and I don't want to be bound by anything, not even like parameters I've set up for myself. I've got a constant goal of trying to improve my completion percentage and ratio, but there's never anything I want to achieve. I just always want to improve myself at it. Like I said, it's a hobby, so I just play at my own pace. I don't want to. When I was in the GTA SC, it was fun at first, but then it felt more like a chore to come on every night and try and score. I mean, I wasn't scoring as much as the rest of my team, but it was more than I would usually play, and I think towards the end of it, I wasn't really enjoying it that much. So I don't have gaming goals because I just want to continue to enjoy gaming rather than it become something I have to work on. So I shouldn't say work about gaming. I should say I play games.
Yeah, I mean, it should be we do it for fun, don't we? It's not a job, and as soon as it does feel like a chore, that's when you start to lose interest, and it's just not good.
As soon as you become number 2 in the racing leaderboards, you kind of lose interest a bit.
No, you don't, because I know that a certain someone's not going to let me stay there for very long, and that makes it fun because we know each other quite well. And
that's why I'm down in like the 10,000s in the racing leaderboard, because it's like, yeah, whatever. The guy is 1 gamer score ahead of me in racing achievements, but what do I get? It works. You should try it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there are games out there that I'd love to play, but I'm just so focused on what I'm doing at the moment.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. It is racing all the way. Well, that's all the questions over. Would you like to leave us with a final thought, quote, statement? Jerry Springer, Love Fest, call it what you will.
I'll just say a big thank you to everyone who's watching this on Street Humans YouTube. Yeah, thanks very much for taking the time to watch 30 minutes of me and you speaking. I hope it was interesting to you. I've had great fun coming on the interview, speaking to you, Ash. Hopefully sometime in the distant future we can do it again. I'm thinking about taking some inspiration from you and trying to do my own vlog. I don't know how that will turn out, and chances are I'll never get around to ever doing one of them. But yeah, so you better watch yourself.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that.
Oh, we didn't talk about my blog leaderboard. I wanted to talk about it, but I don't know. You've got to think of a question on the spot.
Well, no, I mean, if you want to say, if you want to have a quick mention of that before we wrap up, then go for it.
Well, oh yeah, I probably should have thought more about this in advance. Yeah, so I used to do this thing called the block leaderboard and True Achievements. What made me famous? Well, I think.
Yes. Yeah, well, it did. I mean, I remember appearing on that for the first time, and that's how we got to know each other.
I thought it's my guess the car things I used to do. I can't remember.
That's true. Yeah, it could well have been that as well. That was quite good. Well, I think that is more than enough now for those. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's more than enough now. I'm going to start wrapping up. So if you've got anything to say, now is the time to say it.
No, I'm all right. Thanks again for watching.
Okay, and I'm just going to wrap up very quickly now, because if you've watched this far, you've done really well. Hopefully you've been able to have a look at us playing Blur, which was really good. That's all in the top corner. I helped Lucas get a few achievements on that. We had a good laugh doing that, beating some noobs, which was quite entertaining. There's been the stat roll across the side showing his best bits and also the bits down the bottom as well. Follow his vlog, follow his blog. Don't start doing a vlog. Put my teeth in. Follow his blog. It's great. You're probably following it already. Check out my stuff. I've got to promote myself as well here. I try and do the best I can, but not always with the mouth that's working correctly. Maybe that's how it goes quite often. So thank you very much for watching. Take care. Look after yourselves. Lucas, it's over to you. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. That's all from me. Goodbye.